everyone, today let's talk about the greatest flu outbreak in human history. Can you guess what it is? Is it coronavirus? Well, certainly it's not. It was the Spanish flu that spread worldwide from 1918 to 1919. Even though it called Spanish flu, it is not started in Spanish, but the Spanish media extensively covered the news while the other country refused to admit having cases. And what is unique about this disease is that the highest mortality was in healthy people at the age of 20 to 40. This pandemic was caused by the H1N1 influenza virus. And this virus infected 1 to 3 world populations, and the number of deaths reached 50 million people. And based on the recent theory, the incubation period of this disease is that 1 to 7 days, but 2 days on average. This pandemic occurred during the wartime. That is why the spreading of this virus occurred among the troops, through the port, and in the urban area. And why is this disease caused so many people dead and infected? Well, there are several reasons for that. First, the progression of the disease is very quick. People often die less than 24 hours from they develop the symptoms. And the second reason is that because of this disease occurred during the wartime condition is very poor, which is poor sanitation and poor nutrition. The third one is that the diagnostic laboratory cannot identify the influenza virus. That's why they don't know what the cause of the disease. And what is sad about it is that even though the pandemic already passes away at a time, the expert can't understand what truly causes this pandemic. And the fourth one is that the vaccine is not developed at that time, so it was hard to prevent the spreading of the virus. And the last one is that there is no proper treatment back then. For example, the antibiotic not invented yet to treat the secondary bacterial infection. That is why the hospital quickly overwhelmed. But the government also take an action, which is the government closed shop. The government tried to prevent the spreading of the virus by closing the theater, dance halls, and the church for months. But it is still hard to prevent the crowd. People were also suggested to wear anti-germ masks. And there are some publicity campaigns that warn people that the spreading of this virus is through coughing and sneezing. The street of the town also got sprayed with disinfectant. And finally, in the summer of 1919, the pandemic ended. And the people who get infected will either develop immunity or die. And finally, what we can learn from this outbreak history is that the scientific research, the technology development cannot be stopped. And always being prepared for another pandemic is critical because we don't know what disease might face us in the future.
Spanish flu is a disease caused by H1N1 which usually attacks birds. This disease occurred in 1918 to 1920 at time of World War I. Actually, this disease didn't originate from Spain, but because the disease came from Spain.
Hello, my name is Kelompok. I would like to explain the epidemiology of H1N1 virus. It is estimated 500 million people in worldwide was infected by this virus. The number of deaths is 50 million people worldwide, occurring when 675,000 people in United States. Indonesia was third ranked in South Asia with this pandemic.
Spanish flu, also known as the 1918 flu pandemic, it was a highly lethal influenza caused by the influenza A virus subtype H1N1. The virus infected 500 million people in 4 successive waves from February 1918 to April 1920. The risk factor of the Spanish flu, there are age, living or working condition, weakened immune system, chronic illness, race, aspirin use under age 19, pregnancy, and obesity.
Well, from the information that has been presented by all of my friends about this H1N1 virus, don't worry because we can also prevent this virus. So, what step can we take to prevent this virus? Some steps are suggested or recommended for this 2009 H1N1 pandemic. First step, the patient should avoid the crowded, or us as normal people should make a distance between the patient at least 1 meter. Second step, take manners or ethic to cough and sneeze. Third step, wash your hand properly every time. Fourth step, use a nose and mouth cover or mask. The fifth step, wash your hand after contact with the patient. And for the last step, make a special planning for danger group high prevalence H1N1.